Good morning, everyone. So it's 10:30. It's Thursday. I hope your week has gone well and you've got what you wanted done. These days just seem to be either really on fast forward and go really quick, or they're a little bit slow and you've got some extra time on your hands. It's most strange at the moment. But if you're hopping on live, it's great to see you. Please give me a little wave, say hello, tell me what it is you're up to today, and we will dive in. If you're watching on the replay, then also let us know, and if you've got any questions, if you add that into the comments on the video live or on the replay, I will get to those and I will answer your questions as best I can. So today we are talking about, Leslie, hi, lovely to see you. Today we're going to talk about your why, which I've been working on some of this for myself at the moment, because I feel that motivation for me really fluctuates, and particularly at the moment, some days get up and I'm really good to go and I want to get loads done in a day and I'll smash through lots and lots of things, and then other days I feel like my energy levels are a little bit lower and it's harder to find that motivation and find the reason why it is you're doing what you're doing. So Monica, good morning, lovely to see you. So I just wanted to kind of take some time just to talk about the why, and when we're talking about the why, it's really around what creates your motivation, what creates that push for you and that desire to move yourself forward, get stuff done, and kind of gives you that little sort of excited feeling. I'm not talking about very practical specifics in your life that we all know exist and that has to form part of your why. So let's dive in. As I've said before, any questions as we go, any comments, whack them in. If I don't get to them during the live, I'll look back through and I'll try and answer as many as I can afterwards. So for me, your why is massively linked to the thinking big topic. Now, I did this as one of my early lives in this group, so it'll be tagged under the training topic, but thinking big is absolutely one worth looking back at, and I like doing that training because actually for me it reminds me to reset sometimes and go back and consider the larger, the longer term, the huge goal that it might be that you're aiming for. And there's a great exercise in there that gets you thinking about what that might look like for you. So for me, the why is very much linked with the thinking big, because if you don't have a big goal, an ultimate achievement that you're working towards, then your why is going to kind of lose something along the way. It's not going to give you that sustainability. It'll kind of give you an initial kick and it'll push you forward for a little while, but then it will die away. No matter how hard you try on your why, you need that bigger picture. So I'm going to talk to you with the assumption that you've seen that. So if you need to dive back to that one, then please take a look and have a look at the thinking big. So I think when we all start, it is fair to say that your why is fundamentally money, and it will be in order for you to live the life that you want to live. It'll be around some basics. It'll be paying your bills, doing what you want to do to live the life that makes you feel fulfilled, and that fundamentally on a first level will be money. And there's more to life than money, absolutely there is, but equally money enables us to do different things, which then enable different emotions, different feelings. It enables us to do the things that make us happy and make us feel fulfilled. It also gives us a sense of security, and I'm not for a minute undermining any of that emotion that we have associated to money. So when you start off and it's perhaps tough to start getting the money consistently coming in, then it's really easy for your why just to be focused on the money. I need this money to get in this, I need this amount of money to pay for this, and then suddenly you start translating what that means back into your business. So for example, if you know that you need to make £500 in your business, you will start to translate that back into, well, £500 into my business will end up meaning that I need 5 people to pay me £100, or I need 10 people to pay me £50, and the logical brain kicks in and it starts getting very practical and very solution orientated. So what that does is then drive scarcity, because you've got this focus then on saying, right, I need to get this number of clients. I will be in a scarcity position if I only have half of the clients that I said I needed to get to this all important number. And then you get into that fear mentality. So you can imagine emotionally and actually subconsciously, so you're not even aware of these voices and the messages that's giving your mind, that you're suddenly into, well, that person that approaches me, they're going to be the next X amount of money on my list, and I can tick that off. So you you go into that almost desperation mode, and that's a repelling energy, and it will come across. Now, whether that's because you're perhaps a little bit more pushy than you want to be, whether it's that you sell a little bit more aggressively, you might be a little bit more direct, you might just actually overwhelm that person because they're thinking, well, this is all a bit much, and it was just an initial inquiry, and now all of a sudden they're massively all over me and they're really selling to me. That's not how you want somebody to treat you. So it feels just a bit kind of disruptive, and you get that vibe that there is a desperation there. And actually, if you do end up receiving a client through that, no matter what you do, but particularly in a service base where you're in a relationship with that person and you're working with them perhaps on a one-to-one, or they're part of a group, if you've got them secured through that sort of energy, then actually they might be pretty hard work on an ongoing basis because they're not even sure they want to be there. You've convinced them because you needed that extra money from them, and you've sort of gathered them in and gone, yes, no, come on, you need to work with me, and you need to pay me this amount of money. So actually the client standard, let's call it, the client quality may not be there with that sort of mentality. So let's flip it on its head. Let's think for a moment about whether or not you can put yourself in a position, and how this might feel, of already being abundant. Now, this is a word which I would rarely have used probably until a year ago, and then particularly in the last 6 months, because for me it just didn't feature. I didn't consider it. I would live my life day to day and think, yeah, I'm very lucky that I have this, and I've worked very hard to achieve this, and I have this. I wouldn't use the word abundant, but it's such a powerful word, and it's such a powerful mindset. So you've got two ends of the scale. You've got your abundance feeling, and then you've also got scarcity on the opposite end of the scale. And depending on the current ebb and flow of your life, you could be at any point along that scale. So you might feel that you're scarce in time at the moment. For me, that's something which plays on my mind a lot. Having the children at home all the time, they require a huge amount of our time, but also I've got a lot that I want to get done, both in my home and in my business. So I'm sort of trying very hard to not slip into that scarcity mentality. But then on the opposite side, if you embrace the abundance, then that suddenly frees you so much. It frees you into feeling that you can make time, you can create that feeling of that emotion of being abundant. And it doesn't mean that you're inventing money and suddenly you're going to open the doors to money coming flooding in. Far from it. It's really about switching to that, but I'm abundant because I have. So I have a tiny piece of paper which is propped up on my desk, which is this one. So I don't know whether you can read it, but it says, I'm abundant because I have everything I need. I'm abundant because I can choose to be. So that sits on my desk to remind me in every sense of my life that actually there is an abundance there. I have lots of ideas. I can choose how much time I have. And it's really important that I keep reminding myself of that. So let's tie this back in. It is really, really easy to slip into, Monica, and you can kind of go on a downward spiral as well. So if you're in that position, then your attitude and how you turn up to serve is going to be totally different than the person we described at the beginning who really needs that client and they're desperate for that client to work with them. If you can show up in that abundance place, then you're looking at how you can serve them. You're looking at how you're going to be able to help them. And your wanting and your desire is to deliver for them. And it comes from that place. It doesn't come from that place of come to me and pay me. Because that's not going to feel good. Whereas on the other side, somebody receiving from you that you're just saying, well, let me see what I've got that I can already do, that perhaps you've got some freebies you can give away, perhaps you've got something that you know will help that person that you could structure in a way that makes it accessible to them. You're going to be much more approachable, much more open to that person being able to work with you, and they're not going to be feeling like you're just desperately trying to sort of cling on to them, and that will feel better on both sides. What that also does is make sure that they're in a better place to start working with you. So if you've got a service where you want to repeat your service with them and you want them coming back for more, or you want to build on what you've done with them, then surely it's better to come from that place where you're happy to give generously. Of course you are going to be paid for what you do, because that is right, that is the balance of life. So if you give, you should receive. And if you give to that person from a place of you genuinely want to help them and you want to serve them, then the law of probability says that you will be paid for that, and it will be something that person wants to pay you for, and that is the way of the world. So if you can stay in that place of, yes, I want to serve that person, yes, I want to help them, move them forward, help them along, then it just feels like a totally different service. Now, it will shine through. Now, it may not be that instantly that person is going to, oh yes, I need to come to you and I need to pay you, but it lodges in their mind, and when they're ready to buy, you have the offer that hits the spot for them, then they will buy. But they'll buy from a much more satisfied place, as opposed to a place of fear and almost emotional, not quite blackmail, but if you push somebody into a sale, that can feel like they're coming from a nervousness perspective. So we've created two different scenarios. So we've got that place of scarcity where everything centres on money, and that place of actually you're abundant and you're ready to serve, you're willing to serve, and you're also going to receive for that. So let's bring that back to the topic of today, which is your why. We're all going to start off with some element of money in our why, but actually it's creating that on a bigger level. Now, money is an enabler, and it will enable you to live in a house you want to live, go on a holiday, buy the food, have the trips out, do things with your family, see your friends. Of course it is. You need money to live, and you have to have a certain amount to live, and everybody's certain amount is different. But what you need to get to from a motivational point of view is that emotional level of your why, because you want to assume, and this is about tricking your subconscious. You need to trick your subconscious into thinking you have already got your minimum level, so your minimum that you need to earn. So I've talked about this before, that there should be two levels of numbers floating around somewhere in your mind. That's your need to earn, which is your basic cover your costs through your income, and then your want to earn, which is your ultimate desired level of income that gets you the additional elements of your life that you can't currently access. So you need to almost assume that the minimum level is coming in, and then trick your mind into allowing you to bridge that gap into the ultimate desired. Because if you can do that, then suddenly you start acting as though you're ready to receive that. So you're looking much more long term. You're not just looking at, well, over the next week I need to earn this amount of money to get through that, and then pay that bill, and then get through that. It's very short term, and it's very reactive, and again very easy to get into that scarcity that we talked about at the beginning. If you can look at the long term and your big goal, back to your thinking big, then actually what you're going to do is create an emotional connection to what it is you will be doing with the money you earn. And that is where your key is. It's not about, I want to have £100,000 in the bank, because frankly you wouldn't just keep £100,000 in the bank, would you? You wouldn't live the life you have today with £100,000 in the bank. You would do different things. You would live your life in a different way, and it's that you have to start connecting to. It's that you need to start talking to yourself about, well, how's it going to feel? How will I behave if I'm able to make a decision based on this, if I'm able to do this with the money that I've got? So that actually the money becomes almost secondary. So it's more about, well, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what it's going to enable me to do. And when I've done that thing, this is how I think I'm going to feel. Because if you can tap into that level of subconscious and that emotional tie to achieving what it is you want to achieve, then the money just becomes a factor in that. It doesn't become the be all and the end all for you. But it's only the emotional element that can really truly create your motivation and your why to move yourself forward. It's almost as though you're telling your mind that you've already almost got there, but actually you're just sustaining that, and that's now the normal for you. It's just what happens. It's just the way that things all flow. And I think using money as an enabler to get what you want is only part of it. So think of other things that are your why. Is it about creating freedom? That for me was a big piece. So it was enabling me, taking on my own business, enabling me to reduce my travel, reduce my time away from the house, the family, my children, and actually being able to have more time. Now, that enables me to have more quality time with my family. So actually that's a non-financial, but it still is a motivator for me for my business. So when I have those days where I get up and I look at my list and think, I don't know where to start, or I've got a difficult day ahead of me, it's not going to be any fun, and just those days when you just feel a bit drained and a bit, you don't want to move yourself forward, then knowing clearly in my mind what my why is allows me to tap back into that, remind myself of those factors that I said, these are the reasons why I do what I do, these are what push me forward, this is what I want to achieve, there's my big goal, and then suddenly you find you've got a flow again, because it will come and it'll go, and I don't then worry about, oh, I'm not able to get going, this is all wrong, it's not a fit for me, it's not going to work, it's all terrible. Actually, it's about questioning yourself as to where your mind has gone, and just allowing it to come and go. So I had, I did some decorating over Easter weekend, so it meant I wasn't massively working on the business. And when it came to Monday and Tuesday of getting back into it, I did genuinely look at my list and think, I don't know where to start. I've got so many things that I want to bring out. I've got offers I want to develop. I've got marketing I need to do. I need to this and I just felt demotivated. But actually knowing that I was going to be able to help people, I was going to turn up, I was going to serve, doing that enabled me to have time with my family straight away. Yeah, there it is, it's back. Push on, get going. But actually, if I just said, yes, but I need to earn this amount to then do this, it wouldn't have lasted, and I'd have been forcing myself to work, which is no fun for anybody. So knowing what that emotional enabler is really key. And I think being able to give yourself that reminder on a really regular basis allows it just to keep flowing and to keep put it on a piece of paper, put it next to your computer, put it on your fridge door, and when times are tough and when you're not sure it's working, and there is no doubt that at the moment there is so much uncertainty in the world that people are nervous about spending, they're unsure which direction their lives are going to go in. So now is a time when we really need to tap into that positivity and actually to show up more than ever, but show up from that place of, I'm here to serve, and I know that the right clients want me to serve, and I know that ultimately they are going to receive a better service from me because I'm coming from that place of, I've totally got this and I can totally help people. I'm not coming from a place of please pay me, because that will be draining on both of you. So I hope that has helped. Are there any questions? Monica, thank you for your comment. Slipping into it a lot. Yeah, that was related to the scarcity. Just while you're typing any questions, I will remind you about what my current offer is. And it's really around that piece of getting yourself going and getting that help to get a foot in the door of doing something for yourself. And we've just talked today about something which for me bridges the gap between a business strategy actually and mindset work, because without having your head in the right space, then your business is going to be very A follows B, and it's going to be quite transactional. But actually getting to the emotional side of your business is really key. So the 2 modules that I've currently got available does that. It really taps into what practical elements do I need for my business to start, but what emotional and what mindset pieces do I need also as my foundation. And the way that those 2 work together is really what creates the strength and the ability for your business to last. It's really easy to set up a business and get thoroughly enthused, pushing on at 100 miles an hour, starting off, but then when things start to get a little bit tougher and perhaps that client flow isn't as consistent as it was, that's when things can get tough. So it's about really arming yourself from the start with that set of tools that you can use when things can be more challenging. So that's what the module does that I've got available at the moment. It is priced at only £49, but actually there is such a lot of content in there. You have got a huge amount of work to go through to really get yourself going. So if you would like some more information, please drop me a note and we can talk about whether it's right for you, where you are in your business. I will only want you to do it if it is right for you, but I think if you're early days or you're thinking about starting a new business, this could help you immensely. Okay, no questions have come through, so I will leave you all there to have a good rest of your week and a good weekend, and I hope to see you all soon. All right, see you later. Bye.